Dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to talk about the life of the saints and the direction in which they always are looking. When we look at the life of the great saints and mystics, because they become our role models so that we can follow in the footsteps, we find two things which are very, very important in their lives. And this goes through the lives of all great saints and mystics. The first thing which we find in their lives is the love for God. The love for God is the dominant part of their lives. They love God tremendously with all that they have, and we see that in their lives. And the second thing that we see in their lives is the love for all creation, everything that God has created. And it's very interesting when we see the lives of the great saints and mystics, how they would love nature, how they would love all other beings, whether they be animals or fish. And there are many, many stories of the love that the great saints had for all beings. Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj, who wrote a lot about life itself, who gave guidance to us so that our lives would be better. In one of his verses he says, Khuda se ishq kiya, aadmi se pyar. So he's telling us that in his life, the first thing that was important was the love of God. In the English language, love is only one word which encompasses many kinds of love. Love for your children, love for your parents, love for your friends, love for God. Everything is kind of under the umbrella of love. Okay. And what kind of love? Is it a strong love? Is it a weak love? Is it a meek love? What kind of love it is not explained that well. Because the word love means love. And so every day we say, I love you, I love you, I love you, And so love, it's encompassing, our feelings towards someone, our caring about someone. But the intensity with which we care is not talked about in the English language. But in the Persian language, there are many shades of love that they talk about. So ishq is the strongest form of love. Pyar or mohabbat is like love. And ishq is like a very strong love, where you can't live without that, you have to think about God all the time. And so the Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj is using that word ishq. He's saying that I love God with all that I have. 24 hours a day, my attention is on God. I can't live without God. I have to think about God. I have to be grateful to God. And so the word ishq is used here. And then he says, Aadmi se pyar. Then with all human beings and all other living forms, I love them tremendously. So the importance of loving God, comes in the life of all saints. Because it's the love of God that they have that makes them be loving to everyone else also. Every day we say, I love you, I love you, I love you. I don't know how many times you say. Do we really mean what we say? Or it's become like a ritual? It's a good thing to say. It's a nice thing to say. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. It makes the other person happy, enjoys. So it's good to do. But we find that, do we put that into practice? When we look at our lives, we all are feeling certain feelings about certain people in society. We feel that those who are close to us, we care about them a lot. But those who are different than us, we look down upon them. And this happens in people in all cultures, all faiths. If there are others from our own culture, our own faith, our own country, our own society, our status level, then we feel good about it. And we feel, we're a part of them. As long as our attention is in the physical arena, then all we think of ourselves is the physical body. We might also think about our mental capabilities. We might also think about emotions, because they happen at the physical level, so emotional relationships. But we don't go beyond that, because that's all we experience in this physical world. So when we rise above that state, it is only then that we are going to be able to recognize our real self, our spirit, our soul. And it is then that our soul, as we realize it, as we recognize the soul, that the characteristics of the soul will start to come and be imbued in us. Love for all, a life of truthfulness, a life full of ethical virtues, of humility, of selfless service, of purity, of compassion. They all are characteristics of a soul. Because a soul is a part of God, and God is an ocean of all love, and God is an ocean of all peace, and God is an ocean of all joy. So those traits of peace, love, joy, and then extending a helping hand to others, those states are going to be experienced by us as we start to get to that state where we are experiencing spiritual consciousness. Not physical consciousness, but spiritual consciousness. And so that happens as we meditate, as we go within. And this is why so much emphasis is placed on the aspect of meditation. It's embedded in all faiths. It might have different names. Someone might say, I'm praying with attention. Some might say, I'm sitting in silence. And say, I'm going within. So these are all different names for the similar techniques. To take our attention away from the world outside and focus it within, because each and every one of us has a part of God in us, and that's the part that gives us life, and that's the part that can be experienced by us. And as we experience that part, then we will be uplifted to heights that we've never experienced before, to states that we've never experienced before. And those states are states of joy, those states are states of happiness, those states are ones that each and every one of us can attain. They're not limited to just a few. They're not limited to a country or to a culture or to a faith. Each and every one of us is a part of God. So we all have a birthright to know God. God is within each and every one of us. So as we take steps towards truly recognizing ourselves, then we will find that we are not different than anyone else. Because on the inside, we're all one and the same. And that realization comes in not through reading, not through listening, but through experience. This is why meditation, which is the practice, is one in which we experience ourselves. It's a practice in one in which we rise above physical body consciousness. It's a practice in which we're able to soar into those regions which are full of light, which are full of love, and which give us bliss and joy like we've never experienced before. And so that's the state we want to be in. But most of us, even though that inherent state within us, are unable to experience ourselves at that level because we're so enamored with the world outside. And we find so many distractions in the world outside that we spend all of our time just in being focused on those distractions. As long as we'll be distracted into the activities of the world, we'll always think of ourselves as being a physical body, sometimes a mental or emotional person also. And we will never be able to get to the reality of who we are. Because the world outside is a world of Maya, it's a world of illusion. And the more we stay in the world, the further away we are from reality. So the key is to be able to use this opportunity in the human body, because the saints have said that it's in the human body that all the faculties that are required for us to know ourselves have been provided. That we make use of those faculties, and then we are able to connect with the divine power within ourselves. As that happens, then the light within and the divine sound within, as we experience that, then we find ourselves in a state of joy, and then we want to be in that state more and more and more. Because when something brings us happiness and joy, we want to be in that arena. And so as we go within and as we connect with the divine power within, we want that experience to be with us for longer periods of time. It's the joy of going within which puts us in such a state where happiness and joy and peace are surrounding us for long periods of time. And as we find that state within ourselves, then we want to be in that state more and more and more. And so that becomes a tool which helps us in being able to focus our attention on God more and more and more. And as the more we focus on any arena, the better we get at it. So the more we focus on God, the more we meditate, the closer we're going to come to God, and the more experience of who we truly are will set into us. And as we realize that we're a part of God, then our life will start to be lived in a manner in which it really should be lived, which is that we extend a helping hand to everyone else around us, that whatever gains we have, we try to help others so that they would also be helped, and their difficulties would be over, and so that there will be joy and peace in everyone's life that we touch. And so each and every one of us can make that difference. It's the key that we need to be peaceful ourselves, we need to be joyous ourselves, we need to be happy ourselves. Then that happiness will go from us to others. But if we are angry, if we are perturbed, if we are disturbed ourselves, then it's only that disturbance that goes to others. And then it makes their life difficult too. So we need to find the peace within ourselves to make our life and the life of those that we love better and better and better. And so those who love God, they end up loving God's creation. And those who are going to love God and love God's creation, not only are they going to be happy, but they will make the life of others happy too. And so if more and more of us go into that state, we'll find that this world would be a happy place to be in. Look at all the difficulties that we all have. Parents are having difficulties with the children, friends are having difficulties, there are difficulties all around. And what is happening is that as we get angry about our states, whatever those states might be, then we are generating more difficulties into our life and the life of others. So we need to recognize that even though we might think that someone else is looking different, they're thinking different, they're talking differently, their understanding is different, but we need to love them. Think of it as a parent, you have children. Yeah? And you try your very best to teach the children the very best of manners that they should have. But let's say they do things that are not proper. Yeah? So it's not that all of a sudden you're not going to love the child. You might correct them, you might try to gear them in the right direction, but you truly love them anyway. And so irrespective of whatever wrong a child does, the parent is always supporting the child. They're trying to make the child better. But if you're angry at the child all the time, if you fight with them all the time, and if you're doing that, then you will have more differences that come between you and the child, and that relationship will get worse and worse and worse. So the key is to understand that everyone's going to be different. what happens generally between husband and wife says that a husband and wife feel that the other one understands them totally. So we all feel, I thought this, so my wife should know that already, right? Well, I think about it, we're all on the same wavelength, but that doesn't happen. Same thing with the parents and children. All parents feel that they train the children really well, so the children should know exactly what the parents want. But the needs of the children could change. Okay? And the parents could be living in one generation and the kids live in another generation. And many times we base our thinking based on the generations that we lived in and the experience that we have. And sometimes we might not be open to the needs of the children. And sometimes the children don't understand that the parents have maybe gone through the same problem that they are going through, and they know the right answers, but the children want to find the answer themselves. So it's like, sometimes you tell a child, don't put your finger in the fire, it'll burn, okay? Because you know it. But the child doesn't know. So then as a parent, do you let the child's finger go in the fire and let it burn a little bit so they know? Or do you say, no, no, no? When you say no, 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 then you're getting away from the child. So sometimes it might not be bad to let them burn a little bit. At least they're close to you, they come running to you. They say, boy, I'm in trouble, mom, help me. But you always say, no, no, he can't do this, he can't do this, he can't do this. They say, yeah, my mom never lets me do anything. They go to dad. He's the easy one. Because kids know where to go. I mean, we all have children, They know, which thing to point at, so they know if they can't get it from one parent, they'll go to another. But as parents, I think we need to have an open relationship with our children. We don't want to alienate the kids, okay? And we don't want the children to feel that we don't appreciate them. And we don't want them to also feel that we know it all, And so sometimes you have to let them go. You need to let them try their own things. And you can be the best guide, you can give them the right guidance, but don't force them into anything. Many times people ask me this question, should we have our children get initiated? So I always tell them, you should have the child get initiated only when the child wants to be initiated. Not that when the parent wants to be initiated, you get them initiated. Let the child get to a state where they want to be initiated, then it's fine, let them get initiation. But you guide them, you can tell them about the path, you can meditate yourselves, let's say, see you meditate, you can be a good example to them, but don't force them into anything. The key is to give good guidance, and sometimes what happens is we as parents are not as good guides as we think we are. We all have our own difficulties, and so we don't present to the children the kind of guidance that they should need to become good human beings. Because we get angry ourselves, we have prejudices ourselves, we say one thing and do another thing, and this happens to all of us. And so the key is that if we become a good role model, then whether it's our children, whether it's our siblings, whether it's anyone else that we know, the effect comes to them. Because it's how we interact with others that people are going to be experiencing, whether we're bringing happiness to them or joy to them or making their life difficult. And so the key is to be in equipoise, to be in joyous, and also know that we all have 75% karma which is going to burn out. We can't do anything about it. Okay? But 25% is free will. So in the free will, let us try to be happy, even though our karma might be that we have to go through pain. Okay? But even though our karma is we have to go through pain, we got 25% and say, okay, if it's pain, I'm going to forget it. Put it on the side. Take the pain as less as it has to be, and keep myself happy, keep myself joyous, and as I relate to everyone else, have that joyous and peaceful state come out, so that I don't come out in turmoil to those that I love, to those who are close to me, so that let them experience some happiness from me. As it is, they're getting pain from every place else. And so if we all think like that, and if we all live our life like that, then there'll be everyone thinking, oh, let me be as perfect as I can be. We can not all be 100% perfect, but as perfect as we can be. Let us be peaceful, let us be joyous, let us be happy. Let us also know that whatever we do, that time will pass away. Even when we get angry, that time will pass away. So why not be happy and pass the time nicely? Because whatever has happened, you can't change it. We can give guidance for the future, but we should all remember that we are all individuals on the outside, but even though our souls have all gone through various stages of their development, they have different karmas, but God has sent us here with one purpose, and that is to know God. And God can only be known in a loving and a peaceful environment. God cannot be known when we are angry and when we have prejudice, when we have jealousies, or we are gossiping, or we are backbiting. Then God cannot be found there. See, our goal is to know God. So if that's the arena where God cannot be found, why are we spending time in that arena? God can only be found in a peaceful arena, in a calm arena, in a loving arena. And that's the arena we want to be in. That's the arena we want to create. Whether it's in our homes, whether it's in places of work, whether it's in our places in our neighborhoods, we all have a responsibility to create that environment, which is more loving, which is more caring. And so as we start to look at all creation as an extension of God, as being a part of God's family, and we being a member of that family, and as we start to recognize that the whole purpose of this existence is to know God, then we need to then get to that realization. It's only when we realize that to know God, we need to be loving God, we need to be loving all creation, that the environment in which we live needs to be loving and caring and peaceful, is then that our life would be lived in the best possible manner. Because it's easy to say meditate, Now if you have a turmoil, you can't meditate right after that. If you had an interaction with your kids or something, if you had an interaction in your family or with your friends or at work, there's turmoil there. You're perturbed on the inside. So you close your eyes, you're thinking about what happened, and then you say, why did I let myself get into this mess? And then, more time is spent in that, so you're not in a position to kind of even meditate. So the key is to defocus from all environment which are going to be creating turmoil. And how do we defocus? By focusing into environment which are loving and peaceful. By creating that environment. By learning to listen properly, by being able to respond in kind words and nice words, by not expecting everyone to know exactly what we think, not expecting others to do as we think they should do, so that the principle, live and let live. Just like we want to live our own life, we want to let everyone else live their own lives too. But if everyone's life is geared to make everyone else's life peaceful and calm, and if all of us live by that principle, then this life would be worth living. Then it would be, there'll be peace down here on earth, and then we'll be able to find the closeness of God, we'll be able to fulfill the very purpose for which we've come into this world. So let us just meditate for a few minutes, because it's through meditation that we get the peace and the calm within. And the more time we spend in that arena, the better our experiences on the world outside are going to be. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight, focus 8 to 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. Those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. This repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within, and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. May the grace of the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Savan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Prasanna Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, be with each and every one of us as we go on the spiritual journey. I will be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of this meditative state, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Please leave off.